Just when you thought it was over, we started it over. Just a different chapter, but still part of the story. Spirit of a patriot, but the heart of a soldier. If you wasn't part of the grind, you can't be part of the glory. We right here, we ain't going nowhere. It's your worst nightmare. We back and they all scared. Every year is our year. The defense is top tier. Whenever you see that red and blue, it's a new era. They too scared of us. I don't know who said it was over, but they lied. The truth never miss. Kicking down the door like who let him in. We been grinding and we ain't worried about the small talk. We big timers.
Yeah, can't believe it. We ain't leaving. Yeah, we achieving. Can't be beaten. See it loud, see it proud from the top of my lungs. Hometown, take a crown. You ain't trying with us. Around this time, you really can't deny. You can't run, you can't hide when the Patriot comes.
All right, everyone. So, the schedule is out. Initially, I was looking. I mean, our home schedule is a fucking cakewalk. The only team that I see that's like not beating, realistically, is the Bills. Everything else, I think, at home is very realistic.
I honestly think we can beat them.
Because I think we'll split with the Bills. I think we win at home and then we lose, which, I mean, hopefully not, because Sunday night is the Bills game at Buffalo, which I'm so pumped for. Like, if we're at like 4-2, 3-1 going into that, it's gonna be a hell of a fucking game. I'm so excited.
Like, what we played in week 5?
Week 5, yeah.
I think we can beat the Raiders at home. Wait, do we play them on the road?
No, it's home.
Yeah, I think we can win that game. Honestly, with what we brought in the offseason, and kind of like the Raiders kind of being on the same level as us last year.
Yeah,
I don't see a drastic change where it's like. Or I don't think Ashton Genty's going to come out and like go crazy on us. Like,
the only thing is Geno. I wonder how Geno's going to do with. I mean, that's a pretty loaded offense skill position.
Yeah, I feel like Geno's hit or miss. Like I feel like we're going to give him credit for definitely being better than what he was because it wasn't resurgent. But Geno's a good quarterback. We have the better quarterback. You understand what I'm saying? Like, right. So it's like not to really like take too much away from Geno, but with this roster and and that type of weaponry, and if it can get to the level of what we're just gonna assume that these guys are gonna be productive.
I think. And that's kind of what I wanted to do is right. We can go through each game. But we can go through like the most important positions. So like we'll compare quarterbacks, compare receivers, corners, and defensive ends and tackles. I think those are probably the most important. So, and then we'll kind of tally up and see where we end up. Like if the Patriots have a better quarterback, receiver, and corner, right? That's most of the positions. If they have the most positions, I would consider that a win. We can kind of go through like that and just kind of see. Hold up. You know what I mean?
Give me 1 second. My son's here. Give me 1 second so I can get him from the door.
So I'll kind of talk. So I think kind of going through like that, right, and just kind of seeing position-wise who's the better team, because I think that ultimately ends up being the deciding factor. And then coaches, right? We have to compare coaches. But now that we have a extremely competent coach, I think that would make the most sense. So with the Raiders, right, Pete Carroll versus Vrabel. I'm going to go – I feel like you got to go Pete Carroll just experience-wise, former Super Bowl champion coach. For now, you got to go Pete Carroll. Quarterback, that's where it gets a little tricky because I think Drake May is going to end up being the better quarterback. I just don't know if he's the better quarterback right now, just because it's so early in the season. I'm going to go with Geno for now. Right? And then receivers, I think we have the better. Well, that's tricky because, right, they have Jacoby Myers and they have Brock Bowers. Those are probably your two biggest receivers. Ours are Stephon Diggs and, Hunter Henry. That's kind of a toss-up. I'll go Raiders just because they have Brock Bowers. Corner-wise, it's us. It's not even a question. We have Gonzo and Carlton Davis. Like, you're out of your fucking mind if you think anything different. Defensive end, right? They got Max Crosby. So they're getting that. Offensive tackle, I got to go with Will Campbell, right? He's a 4th overall pick. I haven't necessarily seen him play. But, I mean, you got to go Will Campbell. Right?
All right, I'm back. Sorry.
Yeah, you're good. So I kind of just went through the Raiders real quick. So, coaches, I was saying we should give it to Pete Carroll to start off. Only because he has more experience, right? I know he's a little bit older and he's kind of out of the game, but respect to experience. Quarterback, I was thinking going Geno just because this is Drake's second year. I think by the end of the year, even by like week 5, week 6, Drake's be better.
Okay, coming from that standpoint, like
you know
if
what I
you
mean?
put experience on it, I get it. So I'll take it.
So then receivers, I included Brock Bowers because he's pretty much a receiver for them. They have him and Kobe Myers.
Yeah.
Ours is probably, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry.
Yeah, Stephon Diggs, Hunter Henry, Pop Douglas.
Yeah, so I was
Booty. Can't forget Booty. I think Booty in a second man role, like if Stephon Diggs can like eat up majority of it, I think Kayshawn Booty will be I think this could be a breakout season for him. Like if he reaches anywhere from 850 to 900 yards, he's on track.
Yeah. So do you want to give it to New England for that one, or?
Yeah, I feel like I would give it to New England because just because mine is Brock Bowers, it's like
right. That was like, I initially was thinking maybe Raiders just because Brock Bowers is that good, but right if it's just him, right, we'll just have so many people on him and not have to worry too much.
Yeah, I think our secondary can, not.
Yeah,
I wouldn't say shut him down because he's a good player, so I'm not even going to go too far into that.
Yeah.
But considering looking at who's in our secondary, healthy Cal Duggar, Christian Gonzalez, Carlton Davis, Jabril Peppers, even Marte Mapu is starting to.
Yeah, for corners, I gave it to us because I don't think there's a question.
Yeah.
Especially with just Gonzo. Like, even without Carlton Davis, there's no question with Gonzo.
I mean, on defense, the only thing we can call speed. The only thing they have us on is edge because of Max Crosby.
Yep, Max Crosby. So I gave them that. Offensive tackle, I know Will hasn't played yet, but I mean it's Will Campbell.
Patriots.
Yeah.
Will Campbell. What's it? Morgan Moses? Is it?
Yeah. So we got 1, 2, 3. So that's a tie.
Because isn't their left tackle trying to leave Colton Miller? Or isn't he seeking a new contract or a trade? I think he's seeking a new contract. Like that?
Yeah. So that's still kind of in the air. I'm going to go, right, it's tied with the positions and the coach, but I'm going to give it to New England. It's at home. Right, that's an advantage.
And it's the Mike Vrabel era. Oh, you got to watch, if you didn't already watch it, I'm going to try to find it. I never.
The Forge in Foxborough?
Yeah, I gotta catch it.
I'm so pumped. I haven't watched it yet.
I don't know. Like, is it a certain time it's coming out? I seen it.
It already came out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I think it came out like 5 or something.
Yeah, I'm gonna find it.
Yeah, I can't wait. It's like an hour 15 long or something. It's gonna be sweet. So week 2 is at the Dolphins. I mean, we don't even need to go through anything. Like, we're gonna lose. It's in Miami. We never win that.
You think so?
Yeah,
with that team, like I don't.
In Miami,
I don't view them as the same threat type of Dolphins.
All right, so let's go through it. Coaching, I feel like you got to go Vrabel. I don't have a lot of faith
I'll
in
go
Mike.
Vrabel.
And then quarterback.
I'm going Drake May.
Yeah.
I'm going Drake May.
Yeah. Receivers.
It seemed like it's some turmoil over there though.
So let's just say like right now, if we were to play like today.
I don't. All right, I'll give them the receivers just off of reputation of who's over there.
Yeah. So
But
corners
their
still
passing attack, their passing attack has been like Last year it took a dip.
Yeah. Corners, us, obviously. Defensive end.
Wait, did they get a left tackle?
Was it a left tackle?
Because I don't think the Dolphins' offensive line was that good.
It's either that or a guard, right? Or who did they? I'll look it up right now.
Who did they even take in the
Kenneth
first?
Grant, defensive tackle.
All right, yeah. So they took a run stop.
Yeah. So defensive end, how would you?
Patriots.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then offensive tackle.
Patriots.
Yeah. So position-wise, that's a win for us. So I'm gonna put it as a win.
Safety, Patriots. Linebacker core.
Yeah, just the fact that it's in Miami just makes you.
I'll give Miami the linebacking core, just because ours is kind of like newer.
Yeah. Okay, so week 3 home against the Steelers.
Patriots.
Coaching. Do you go Tomlin, right?
I mean, I suppose. I feel. You know what? Off of evolution, I'll give it to Tomlin.
Yeah, I feel like if we did it for Carroll, we got to do it for Tomlin, right?
Right.
Quarterback Drake, because they have no one.
Right. I think they're going to be the worst team in the league this year, and I think
Really?
they're okay with it. I think they're okay with it because remember what I was saying about them being stuck in that middle, them not being able to get a quarterback at the top.
Yeah.
Can't, you know what I mean? They're always stuck in the middle of the pack, and they don't have enough draft capital or could even offer anybody anything to even get up in the top 10 to offer them to move anywhere from 18 down to 24 range.
Yeah.
That's where they've been stuck at.
So receiver, right? They really only have
DK Metcalf.
Right?
Yeah, that's what he gets too. Like that is
I'm over DK after those fucking
he I went against him and got a quarterback.
So that's new. Defensive end, obviously that's Steelers.
Yeah, Steelers.
With TJ. Corners, us. I think it's gonna be us pretty much every time.
They got the safety group.
Yeah.
Linebacker, I'll give them that too.
Offensive tackle.
Patriots.
Okay, so that's a dub. So then home versus the Panthers. Coach Vrabel.
Yep.
Quarterback May.
Yep.
Receiving
Patriots.
Yeah.
Because they got Ted McMillan, and honestly, I don't think
they're young. They're very, very young. That's the only thing that makes me like.
I don't. The only thing I can make out of the Ted McMillan pick, him there that high, is you got a short quarterback. You need a bigger target that has a bigger catch radius when he's releasing that ball and getting it out. Because realistically, Bryce Young, just off of height wise, like you would think that he has to throw more deep passes because the intermediate to short zones, he can't see them as well.
Right. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Defensive line or defensive end, New England.
New England,
because they got rid of Brian Burns. So
all they got is the defensive tackle. He's very good. Is it the guy from Auburn, Derek Brown?
Right.
Like the 8th
corner. Corner,
Ooh, that's J.C. Horn. They have J.C. Horn over there.
Gonzo's so much better.
I feel like they're about the same. I'm gonna be honest. J.C. Horn, when he is healthy, there's a reason he went ahead of Pat Surtain. He had a phenomenal year last year. I will give him that.
Yeah,
he finally looked, but Carlton Davis tilts the scale backing out. The scale backing out direction because I don't know who. They don't have another notable name.
Right, that's kind of they're a one-man show over there.
Yeah, but him and Gonzo, like I would take him to get. I would say him and Gonzo.
Offensive tackle.
What did that offensive tackle they took from NC State like what 2-3 seasons ago? Did he ever really pan out?
Never heard much.
What's his name? It's like an African name, I think. Ike Ikwanu. It's like Ike Ikwanu or something like that. They took him.
Yeah, Akeem Ikwanu and then Taylor Moton. I mean, gotta go us, right?
Yeah, I'll probably say Patriots.
Yeah, so that's a dub. So we're 4-0. So then it's at Bills. So this is where we start to get separated. Coach. I feel like McDermott.
I feel like, but see, McDermott, you would have the argument, and here's why I would take Vrabel. Because Vrabel was somewhat similar in like success rate, and he didn't have Josh Allen. Vrabel had Ryan Tannehill.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan Tannehill's a forgettable name, and he's bad. Sean McDermott has Josh Allen.
I mean, he's been on the hot seat multiple years.
Yeah, because now it's getting to the point you can't beat the Chiefs in the playoffs. So that means you're being out coached.
Okay, quarterback, Josh Allen.
Yeah, we'll give it to Josh.
Receivers, I feel like you go us. The receiving room is kind of cleaned house.
Yeah, I'll say wide receiver. I will go New England.
Defensive end. They got both. I'll
go Bills. I'll give it to them.
Right. Man. Corner.
Patriots.
Yeah. Offensive tackle.
They have good tackles.
Yeah, I feel like you go them. Just we haven't seen.
We'll give it to them.
Okay,
that's a toss-up game, but I honestly don't believe, like in everything in my heart, I don't believe that they're that much better than us because it's a new season for one, and two, like they got the reputation, they got the name over the last couple of years. So
yeah, they have Josh. That's the biggest, right? As long as you have Josh, you're gonna win.
But now we can say that we actually have a quarterback that threatened that type of empire. Like, yeah, Miami got Tua, but Tua, his best thing you can say about him is he's accurate, he puts the ball in the right spot, and he has a lot of fast receivers versus Mac Jones. He did read the field well, I guess, but then I don't know what the hell happened on his way out. So clearly we weren't going to get there with that. And the Jets has been in quarterback purgatory since Broadway. So now you got a Drake May in there that has similar type of traits as a Josh Allen and actually has one of his old weapons. And they built a damn good team around him, and he actually has a competent coach and a competent coaching staff because Josh McDaniels has to be weighed heavily into a lot of this as well.
Yeah. All right. I'm going to put that as a loss. So the next game is at New Orleans. So coach,
Patriots.
Quarterback,
Patriots.
Wide receiver.
I mean, they got Olave, but we got Gonzo. They got that fast guy too, Shaheed.
Yeah, let's go. Let's just give them the receiver.
Yeah, we'll get them receivers because they got better production than us. Anyways.
Yeah. Defensive end.
I'll give it to them.
Okay. Corner, us. Tackle, like you go us, right?
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, they got Trevor Penning. He was another first-round pick.
Yeah. So this would be a win. So then at Tennessee. So Coach Vrabel, which is hilarious. Quarterback, May. Receiver, New England.
Now, the defense, the Titans had the second best defense in the league last year. So, it gets tricky.
Yeah. So
no, by yardage. They did give up a lot of points, though.
Yeah.
Yardage-wise.
Who was their defensive end? Who do they got over there?
They had Carlton
they have
Davis.
10.
They just took a guy in the second round out of UCLA.
Yeah. They have
Jeffrey Simmons, obviously, is on the interior.
Yeah.
Like, as an overall, I feel like the defenses will be very similar, just overall speaking.
Let's give them the line because respect to Jeffrey Simmons, he's been in that system.
Realistically, if you look at it, this is Callahan's second season. So that's in somewhat of a sense, that's a Vrabel's defense as well, or a lot of his groundwork, infrastructure.
Corner, like you go us. I know they have
Patriots,
but and then offensive tackle, right?
Patriots,
right?
Yeah, Patriots.
So that's a dub. So then home versus the Browns. Coaching is interesting because they get Stefanski, and
I'll give it to Vrabel.
You think so?
I mean, Stefan, I don't. I'm surprised he hasn't gotten fired.
I wonder if they just recognize how shitty of a situation this is for him.
Yeah, that could possibly be too, but this is the league where a lot of people get fired very quickly.
Yeah,
he's not saying he's a bad coach, but
let's go Vrabel. That's right. It's kind of a toss-up. Quarterback, New England. Receiver,
New England. I mean, they got Jerry Jeudy. And what else?
And Njoku.
I don't think he's that effective.
No. Okay. So
not versus us. I don't feel like Njoku would be
right. Yeah. Defensive end, obviously them.
Yep.
Corner.
They do have Denzel. I would say them. They've been Denzel Ward.
They've had a solid group for a long time.
Newsome,
right?
Martin Emerson plays pretty good.
I like that.
I feel like that'll be a low-scoring game that'll go in our favor because we'll be able to produce more points. But I feel like that game and the Tennessee game are going to be kind of in the lower scoring ranges, but we still pull them out.
Yeah.
They have great tackle. Defenses. Us.
Yeah. So that's a dub right there. So we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7-1 right now.
They said we're favored in 11 games this year.
Yeah, and their line is 8.5. So we should win 11. Probably going to win 8 is what they're saying. Which that's reasonable. Just right here. We're going through the most important positions and we're smoking.
Right.
Next one is home versus the Falcons.
Now that's an interesting one because I feel like they got significantly better.
Coach Vrabel, quarterback May.
Mm-hmm.
Receiver, I feel like you got to go with them.
Falcons. Yeah, Falcons.
Defensive end.
Falcons.
Yeah.
Because they did just double up in the first round too.
Right. Yep. Corner, I think it's still us.
AJ Terrell and nobody else. Like I said, we was putting him and Gonzo. So yeah, corner, I'll go us.
And then offensive tackle.
Patriots.
Yeah. So
I don't think Penix is that good.
I'm very interested. We'll know how Penix is by then, which is nice.
I'm gonna send you a video.
Sure.
Matter of fact, I'm gonna send you a video. I want you to watch it when we're done.
Okay. So then, next one, at the Bucks. Coach. I feel like
I
Vrabel.
mean, he's a new coach too, so Vrabel.
Quarterback, I feel like you gotta go Mayfield right now.
Yeah.
I think I'm a big fan of Mayfield. I'll give him that. Receiver,
They got
them.
Receiver, yeah.
Defensive end. Right, I know they have Wirfs.
They have pretty good defensive ends.
Yep. Let's give it to them.
Defensive line as a whole. I think I'll tilt towards the Patriots with that one.
Okay, let's do
With
that.
Baltimore, like I haven't been taking it, and this is my bad.
Like we still have Milton Williams. Like
with
he was
Baltimore
best.
and Milton Williams, Baltimore, Keon White.
And Baltimore's officially healthy.
I think Braden Swanson is gonna be kind of that. Remember when what's his face? Autry played for the Titans, the defensive end. I think that's what Braden Swanson would be kind of like him in Vrabel's system. I forget his name. Is it D'Amico Autry? Danico Autry?
Oh, yeah.
Danico Autry. That's who it is.
Okay.
Yeah, he plays for the Texans now, but he was a really good defensive end for the Titans.
Yeah.
What's Braden Swanson? Like what, 6'5", 265?
Yeah, he's a little on the smaller side. But he's tall.
I gotta go find the tweet where I said before the draft, look for the Patriots to take an edge at that, like that type of range of that, because I was watching old Titans tape and he was popping off the screen at me.
Yeah. Corner. I feel like New England,
Patriots.
Right? Gonzo just kind of tips the scale for us pretty big.
Yeah.
Tackle
then,
Bucks.
I'll give the Bucks the win in that one. I feel like they're gonna give us a run because they have the continuity too.
So I think that's a Bucks win.
Yeah, they have the continuity on their side too.
Yeah. Okay. So then home against the Jets. Coach us.
Quarterback us.
Us. Receiver.
Tackle us. I mean, what they got? Garrett Wilson?
Yeah, Garrett Wilson.
I mean, if we're going to live off a reputation, we got Stephon Gilmore then. I mean, not Stephon Gilmore, Stephon Diggs.
Yeah.
So, receiver, I'll go Patriots. As a collective whole,
okay.
I'll go Patriots.
Defensive end.
Their top defensive ends hurt, so I'll go Patriots.
Okay. And then corner. It's got to be us. Sauce Gardner.
All they got is Sauce. Yeah, all they got is Sauce, and he got exposed last year.
So that's a dub. Okay. So then at the Bengals. So coach, I feel like Bengals.
Yeah. From
quarterback
from all the way down to receiver, they have everything on offense. Maybe not the tackle position, but offense we ain't.
Yeah, I'll give us tackle. Defensive end is interesting because Trey Hendrickson's not there.
Yeah, we'll see what Shamar. They did take one in the first round. We'll see what he is, but they still have Chuba Hubbard or Sam Hubbard. Sam Hubbard.
He retired.
Sam Hubbard retired?
Yeah, he retired.
They did take Shamar. I mean, Shamar Stewart is all traits, and
I feel like we got to go us. Just experience. I don't think Hendrickson's going to be there.
Yeah, I'll say us.
And then corner us.
Yep.
So that's a Bengals W. Okay. So then versus the Giants, Coach Vrabel.
Quarterback. I think the only thing we don't have them in is edge.
And receiver. They got Hyatt, Neighbors.
Hyatt's trash. I'm sorry to say it like that, but
he's better than
I didn't see much from him. I haven't. Neighbors, yeah.
I feel like just Neighbors alone is just he's gonna be a top 5 receiver in the
Over
league.
Diggs, though?
Neighbors
Over Diggs?
Neighbors.
I mean, we giving
He's
out
top
evolution.
5
We
easily.
giving out evolution awards. Neighbors over
well,
Diggs?
the other ones, it's because they're both old. He's young.
You know, Stephon Diggs cost a lot of sleepless nights for Patriots fans.
Yeah, Neighbors he's young though.
Yeah. All right, I'll give it to him based off of what
let's
we
give it
think
to him because
is
everything
now.
else I think is us. Well, defensive end, they have Brian Burns and
Adore Carter, Kayvon
give
Thibodeau. They got defensive end.
Let's give them that. Corner us.
Well, we're gonna beat the hell out of them though.
Offensive tackle us. So 1, 2, 3. That's a dub. We have 4. They have 2. Okay.
I don't think Abdul Carter's gonna get a sack against us. I think Will Campbell can handle him, and he doesn't have the play strength to even play Morgan Moses.
No, our offensive tackles are massive, and Abdul Carter's a little smaller for their size.
That's what I'm saying. And Will Campbell, I think, can.
He's 6'6", 230.
Yeah, he has the feet to keep up with him. That little speed rush shit he likes to do off the edge.
Yeah,
I think Will Campbell can neutralize that because he's going to try to get in his chest. It's not like we're talking about a lengthy defender. No, he's just like his best attribute is he's athletic as hell and he has a hell of a speed
Campbell
rush.
is.
Yeah, he has a hell of a speed rush. But looking at Campbell, like they said, since I think 1990 something, he would have ranked as the 17th highest rated offensive lineman based off of his like testing.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, he's a freak. So then after the Giants, we have the bye week. Then it's home versus the Bills. So we already did the ranking of everything, which
I don't think they're sweeping us. So if you gave them
I don't think so either.
Person,
I think this is where we win. I'm going to count it as a dub, even though they won the matchup. So at Ravens, coach them. This is going to be a tough. Yeah, them. Receiver, they have Zay Flowers.
Yeah, they got us in receiver.
Yeah.
Defensive, they got us.
Yeah.
They got us.
You're giving them corner too. I feel like that's us. But they have good strong safety.
No, I would give them that. I will give it to him because Humphreys, Nate Wiggins.
Yeah, they're
solid. The Ravens got everything you could want.
Okay, so that's a clean loss. Jets again. I think that's a win. I think we sweep the Jets.
Yep.
So then the last game is at home versus the Dolphins. I think that's a win.
Yep.
So that's 1, 2,
4 losses.
4 losses. 13-4, mostly based off of player and coach matchup.
Yeah, and we have an easy schedule. I think we have the 4th easiest schedule.
Third easiest schedule in the league.
Yeah,
and the easiest in the AFC.
Because we took a significant jump in roster moves versus where we finished at last year.
Like we're
realize,
coaching on every single level, light years ahead.
Yeah, and what helps in these situations is the fact that we were at the bottom of the division, so we play the 4th. Besides teams that we play the entire division, we play everybody that won 4th in the AFC. You know what I mean? So it's like we made some significant roster moves. So
13-4, just on paper, player versus player, or position group by position group. 13-4.
I like it, but my expectation for them, honestly, what I had in mind was about 11-6.
Yeah, I had 10-7, 11-6, right around there. Yeah, I think that's super doable. The worst case scenario that I had was 6 wins.
I think they get 11-6. Probably one game behind Buffalo starting playoff time, and we end up with the 5th seed.
Yeah, I still think Buffalo is they will play actually end up 13-4. will be more closer to that 11-6, 10-7.
I don't know. Like, you got to think, Buffalo has to face.
They have an
Kansas
easy schedule
City.
too.
They have to face Kansas City. They have to face Baltimore. They have to face Cincinnati.
They're better
And
than
the Patriots
Chiefs.
have gotten.
Chiefs. They always beat the Chiefs in the regular season.
Yeah. But this Bills team, like, does this scare you the same way as it used to, or you saw some morality last year? Because to be honest with you, even in the 2021 season, we should have won the division. What, we lost it by one game? And to be real with you, we beat them the first time with all run plays. Had they not let them run back two kickoffs, that could have been another New England win.
As long as they have Josh Allen, I think they have the advantage no matter what.
Yeah, but did they really beat the hell out of us last year, though? Even with Gerard. You see,
Well,
Joe
Milton beat
them.
Last game,
yeah, he beat them there. The first time we played, that was a close game until they started the BS.
Yeah, I don't know.
Remember, we went up 14-0 on them.
It's Josh Allen, though.
That's what I'm saying. Remember, it was like Josh Allen looked stuck on neutral, and Drake May came out and just was slicing through Buffalo's defense like it was butter. Even McDermott's like, damn, like we're gonna have to play that kid twice a year.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that they're a bad team. All I'm saying is I think we're a lot closer to them now. Because all we can say is Josh Allen. That's all we keep saying is Josh Allen.
Yeah, I mean,
that's what I'm saying.
He's that good, though. That's
but we can name another host of players that we're not only putting our wins on Drake May. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have a Gonzalez type of player over there. They might have somebody similar to Keon White with Gregory Rousseau, but I think he's a little overrated.
Older too.
They don't have a Milton Williams type. Ed Oliver is not that. They don't have a Christian Baltimore. They don't have a Carlton Davis. Their safety group is okay, but I wouldn't take DeMar Hamlin over Kyle Duggar or Jabril Peppers.
Right.
I wouldn't take anybody in their secondary over anybody in ours.
Yeah.
Offensively, like you said, the wide receiving group, we look like we got the tilt on them there.
Yeah, I give them running back and quarterback.
Exactly. So depending on all those factors, and we have a full healthy team, I think we could really give them that run, because for him to have to face Keon White, Milton Williams, and Christian Baltimore on a down-to-down basis,
and Anthony Jennings, he's elite against the run.
Right. Against the run, you got Anthony Jennings, and you're gonna work in Carl Landry off the edge and things like that. That's what I say. I think we're a lot closer to them than I think a lot of people would realize. Matt Milano's getting old.
Their defense is good, but they are old.
Right.
Their defense was there before Allen, right? You know what I mean? Like they were pretty
open.
Yeah.
And they took that corner in the first round. But I feel like they kind of more so took him to defend Xavier Worthy rather than me seeing Maxwell Hairston as like a true shutdown corner in this league.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I'm done with the 4.240s because like I have rarely seen a player put up that type of
like
blazing
Chris
speed.
Johnson and then everyone else is scrubs.
Even corners that run that fast. I haven't seen them. Adoree Jackson was pretty damn fast. He's always hurt, skipping around from team to team. So yeah, I think like I said, don't be surprised, but I don't think Buffalo's like light years ahead of us as they were over maybe the last two seasons. Because they weren't light years ahead of us in 2021. They had us the last two seasons.
Yeah.
But remember, this is a retooled roster.
Right, because that was when he had Diggs, and Diggs was just our kryptonite. There's literally nothing we could do with Diggs.
And trades still can be made. So
yeah.
I feel like The Patriots are maybe one move away, a blockbuster type of. If the Patriots feel like they're going to try to come out and contend now, and they can win now, I would look towards players that are maybe about to get on expiring contracts that are worth a first round pick, and weigh my options versus the draft of, okay, if we end up 13-4 and we realize there's a vital position that we need, we're going to be picking towards the bottom of the draft. You understand what I'm saying? So it's like, do we weigh the rest of?
Yeah, and I think it's the biggest thing would be our receiving core, because I think a receiver would be that kind of a pick that we would just kind of spend that on, either that or like defensive end.
If Nico Collins goes up for trade, would you take him?
Not for a first.
No, definitely not for. Without the injury, he would have been worth a first, most certainly. He's been putting up 1,000-yard seasons, like. But the Texans got a crowded wide receiver.
Well, that's the thing. He was top dog even with all those receivers that were in there.
Right now, but they just took two. They just took two in the second and third round. And you already have Tank Dell there, Nico Collins,
Tank Dell
Mechie.
Shouldn't play football.
Who?
Tank Dell. The amount of injuries that are like significant that he's been doing, he's not going to be the same player.
He's small, and that's what I feel like it signaled
every year.
I feel like it signaled that's what it was, because for them to take two wide receivers back to back like that in rounds where you can say that we're going to see them on the field for the Texans. These are not about to be bench riders unless they just come in and are terrible, but these are two very good wide receivers that if they reach their peak, the Texans just struck gold. I feel like there's going to be some guys from that locker room that's going to come open for trade.
Yep.
I would take Mechie.
I mean, Mechie, like, get rid of Bourne.
Right.
Bourne's...
Like, I like Kendrick Bourne, but what's the point of keeping him?
Yeah, especially if you can get Mechie,
because we still got to figure out what the hell. Like, I heard they love Javon Baker, supposedly. So, okay, there he is. What do we do with Jalen Pope? Because even if you're done with him, you want to put something on tape to at least say you got some trade value with him. Because if you can get Jalen Pope to come out and perform this year, and like I say, and give you, let's say, 800 yards, you want to be done with him the following season, see if you can get a third for him.
Yeah, I feel like no matter what with Polk, if he's able to do something, I think you just get rid of him, trade him. Like,
yeah, he's got to put something on tape, though.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like he's got to have some sort of valuable of a season. Like, because all the other receivers that are established are the same type of stylist. And like Kayshon Boutte, I mean, I'd rather keep Kendrick Bourne just because he's shown. If Javon Baker shows anything, right, he's a very similar. Pop Douglas is kind of similar, like the, you know what I mean, like inside, he's blocker kind of guy. Like, I don't really see him being.
I haven't even took into account the Kyle Williams.
That is where it gets tricky, because I think Kyle Williams. It sounds like they're having him wide.
He's going to take Pop's spot.
It sounds like he's playing out wide.
Oh, he's playing out wide? They're not going to use him in the slot?
When the rookie minicamp was happening, he was out wide, like almost.
Oh, so that definitely means if he gets on the field early as a third-round pick, that definitely means Jalen Pope is over with. Javon Baker, you can make an excuse for it because he's a fourth-round pick from the previous draft. But if a third-round pick from this year's draft gets more playing time and he's more in that starting rotation,
which I fucking hope so, because I love Kyle Williams and his tape is electric. That is a top-tier talent. That dude is a dog.
But honestly, knowing Josh McDaniels and where he's been transitioning that the last couple of years, he prefers bigger slots because they're almost like an extra tight end where he doesn't have to get into 12 personnel, but he can have Jalen Pope could very well may end up being the slot. But that's what I'm saying. Where does that leave Booty? No. Where does that leave Booty and
Baker.
where does that leave those guys? Because
Yeah.
like that's
Like
what I'm
Polk
saying.
is the odd man out in almost every scenario.
Yeah, because my preferable lineup in that sense would be my 6 receivers. I would say Diggs, like the top 3 that I'm saying from X, Y, the slot. I'll say Diggs.
Yep.
I feel like Kyle Williams should play the slot and Booty out on the perimeter. And then behind them, you have Pop Douglas, Javon Baker.
Bourne.
I mean, because Bourne's a little older, I probably would swap him out with Pope. But for a second-round pick to be at 6 on my list got me concerned. You understand what I'm saying? Because Pope should be at the top. Pope and what's his face? The guy we just took this year. Is it Kyle Williams?
Kyle Williams.
Realistically, we should have been looking at it like kind of like these are about to be the guys that's transitioning in. And
I have a lot of hope with Kyle Williams. I think he can do everything on the field, and he's quick off the line. He's quick with the ball. He's quick in his routes.
He fits McDaniels. He can move well in space.
Nice.
He can move well in space. He's tough. He can make.
I think he's got everything.
Yeah, I like him.
Cool. I think
and it was a good value pick too.
Yeah,
I like him.
A lot of hopes for him. I hope he's a diamond in the rough kind of player.
Damn, man, I want it so bad to work out for Jalen Pope, just because I don't want it to be that was another wasted second round pick on a wide receiver.
And like it would be the worst one yet.
Yes,
like, statistically, which is like crazy. The thing.
But like we all did say too, with the coaching staff last year, and then only 33 targets over 15 games.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm just trying to take it to like totality of the whole picture.
Yeah. So I'm curious at just how the coaching staff is like. How much are they going to consider last year, or are they truly just going to clean slate? Whoever's better is playing. Like doesn't matter how you did last year.
I think they like him based off of what what's his face shit. What the fuck is his name? Who's our GM? Elliot Wolf. Based off of what Elliot Wolf is coming out and saying, like, you know, him not being the hero we needed at that particular moment and things like that. I feel like for him, he would need at least one more or two more of them other draft picks to work out to validate him being that GM, because it looks like everything else outside of Drake May is a wash. And this year it took a new coach to come in and basically tell you, from what the reports we were reading, listen, I got this type of control, or this and the third.
Yeah.
And it looked like he brought in his guys. So for his even conscience, that's why I feel like Pope may get some leeway, but who the hell knows? Like they're in an interesting position with him.
This draft class, we need at least 4 contributors, 4, maybe, like 3 starters. Right, because I think Jared Wilson, the center, he has a legit shot. Kyle Williams has a legit shot. Will Campbell is obviously going to be a starter. And then what I've been hearing is the most impressive rookies have been Will Campbell and then Craig Woodson.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Craig Woodson.
I've heard he's been very impressive.
That spills trouble for Jabril.
Yeah. Definitely.
They're not letting go of Duggar. And honestly, people can say whatever they want. You go look up Kyle Duggar's number. Listen, we'll take his word for it. He was dealing with an ankle injury last year. But Kyle Duggar doesn't get the love like how them Derwin James and all those guys do. And I can say that I done seen times throughout a season Kyle Duggar has played significantly better than them. Especially that 2022 season. What he had, like 4 touchdowns that year?
Yeah, all the pick sixes.
Yeah, like Kyle Duggar, we know what he can be at a high level.
Yeah.
And taking him a healthy Kyle Duggar with Gonzo and Carlton Davis, that could be a scary sight. Or Craig Woodson, he could be the nickel as to where Marcus Jones
Apu kind of deal. Right?
Yeah, but Marte's more of that hybrid linebacker. You can use him in some like nickel packages inside, definitely in the dime. I think Woodson, he possibly could take Marcus Jones at nickel. You know, nowadays teams want bigger nickels. Those safeties
he's bigger,
as well. Yeah, so as I said, it's going to be interesting to see because even if you get rid of Jabril, I don't really see Kyle Duggar as a free safety. And I'm not like just based off of Craig Woodson's tape, he's a hard hitter for sure.
Yeah,
that I can tell you, he hits hard.
Yeah,
I'm not so sure if he's like a free safety, but who knows?
Yeah, no, I'm excited to see what this draft class is.
Yeah, I'm
right. Elliot Wolf, if it sounds like he's going to be here next season from the sounds of it, but I don't think he's going to be if this draft class is similar to like last year where it's just Will Campbell and then everyone else stinks. Like we can't keep doing it. Like having your first round pick like work out, obviously super valuable, right? Because that'd be 3 years in a row of like elite first round picks. But then having no one else work out, like that's gonna take forever to build up a roster. Like it's not sustainable.
Honestly, even as bad as people could say Bill was at drafting, we never seen Bill draft a draft class like that. Because to be truthful with you, some of them look like they make plays early on, and it just somehow fizzles out and dies out. What class did Marcus Jones and them come in? 2022. That was a good
year
class.
After Mac, or was he the year before?
Yeah. No, I think it was the same year. No, Baltimore went in the second round.
Yeah.
So no, it wasn't.
I think Marcus was.
It was the same year.
Was it really?
It was the same. No, I think it was Cole Strange. Second, it was Cole Strange, and who did we get in the second round?
That was Taekwon.
Yeah, it was Taekwon. Then it was Marcus Jones. No, Marcus Jones came in the same class as Jack Jones. So it was 2021, right. I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, even Jack Jones, he looked decent. Christian Baltimore, obviously.
Upfield bullshit.
Mac Jones had a good year. I think Ramondre came in that draft too in 2021. Yeah, in the fourth round. Ramondre was looking decent.
That was a good draft.
2022, Taekwon, Cole Strange. I feel like Cole Strange is better than a lot of people. Him and Will Campbell side by side. Like I said, if you look at Cole Strange athleticism, his testing and everything, that could be something. That could be something to watch. 2020. Yeah, I feel like with that situation, people started shitting on our draft classes once we stopped winning Super Bowls. Because see, when we were winning, nobody was worried about it. You can say like they can say whatever they want about the Michelle and Isaiah Wynn pick. Isaiah Wynn went down that year for the entire year, but we got a Super Bowl out of that. Sony Michelle was
never see Sony Michel's a bad pick.
That's what I'm saying. Like Sony Michelle was a big piece of winning that Super Bowl. So at the end of the day,
he was like
production.
A very good running back that year.
We didn't need the production for 5 years. Like we got a ring out of him.
Yeah, literally, like that's all we needed.
Yeah, we got the ring out of him. So as I said, like I feel like somewhat of a case is like I feel like they made things like a little worse with Elliott Wolf because that draft class last year, like that's inexcusable. Like for none of those players to work out and to be like that bad. Like we're not talking about Jalen Pope only put up 400 or something yards and looked inconsistent at time. Like no, 12 catches for 87 yards.
Yeah, like not even that's maybe one good game.
And it's like
that's
Javon Baker doesn't even see the field, but we clearly see that we have no talent at wide receiver and nothing's going on. you can't play this man on the field. Like you can't try it out. So it clearly shows like it was incompetent coaching. And if it shows that those players come break out this year, that's coaching malpractice by Alice Van Pelt, Gerard Mayo, and everything else. Like it was that bad. And it was like I said, like it's like we almost forgot about those guys, but
yeah,
it's just terrible. Like he might have been one of the worst offensive coordinators in league history. Like that bad. Because
it's pretty bad.
Because Drake May. Listen, the puppy with big paws theory. You knew what he was going to be. It's not like we didn't see in college that he didn't have talent. It's just people nitpick things, all his footwork. It's just the stuff that's easy to clean up. Okay, he's a quarterback guru. Won't take it from him. But he didn't utilize the entire offense.
But that's like all he was.
Yeah, like you didn't utilize the entire damn offense. Like you couldn't scheme up a game. You couldn't nothing. Like he was running like a very like 1960s type of offense. And when anything else did happen, it was Drake May improvising, getting outside the pocket, trying to look downfield to find targets.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yep. Yeah,
this roster is in a peculiar spot where I'm just wondering, and I'm hoping, at least for Polk and Baker's sake, that they're at least good enough to get on the field, and it just looks more like Gerard and his coaching staff completely like screwed them.
Yeah, I mean that's you have to hope for that because this is crazy.
Yeah, it should not have been that bad. Like
historically, like did not work out.
Yeah, like you can't tell me you couldn't have got him more than 12 catches. Like the drops are like, oh yeah, he dropped a couple passes, but at the end of the day, he's a rookie. So those are things I expect. But for you to like completely just take him off the field and everything, and I heard he doesn't separate well, but you watch his tape, Jalen Polk has a hell of a release coming off the line. He has the ability to get open. And honestly, if you look at some things, there's probably some tape where he is open. But AVP seemed like he had his favorites in certain aspects because he was too stubborn to even take DeMontre Jacobs out of the game. And we all saw how bad he was. So it's
I'm happy with this offensive staff that like we're not going to tolerate bad play like that. Like DeMontre Jacobs, do you think Mike Vrabel would have kept him in there for that long? Josh McDaniels let him stay there.
I don't think no coach would have because it's like
my
roster's that bad and I'm losing games that bad. And week in and week out, I keep putting the same guys out there. And there's other guys just sitting on the bench. Like that doesn't make absolutely no sense to me. That means you didn't make no changes. You're saying that I'm right. You guys are not doing it right.
Yeah.
I don't need to change anything.
It's the definition of insanity. Doing the same thing over and over, expecting different results.
Yeah, like
that's literally what we did.
So bad wanted to be right. And everything that was said in the offseason from the moment they hired Gerard as the head coach came to fruition.
Yeah. I remember the offensive line in preseason, like around this time, everyone was saying that it was a disaster. And in training camp, it was a disaster. Mini camp, it was a disaster. And like it never changed. And
he didn't have his scheduling down.
Yeah.
And he wanted to take off certain days for these guys and things like that. See, that's that player mentality. Yeah, I know my guys probably want to rest this day. So you got to be friends with your players as well. But also, when do you need to be the head coach?
Yeah, he never really – he didn't separate it enough. Like when that video of – was it Michael Wenu on the bike in the locker room?
I didn't see that.
That was like one of the first days of Jerron Mayo, where he was like on a bike in the locker room. That was one of the first signs. I'm like, you don't want that. That's clearly a bad sign.
Yeah, we can laugh and play around and everything, but we're not about to even put that image out there.
Like we were still 4-13 the year before.
They said
in the fucking locker room.
They said the players felt like we were at a coaching disadvantage all year, every game we played.
Yeah. And we just went through it. What? 1, 2, 3, 4 games. There's 4 games where there's a better coach. 4 games this year. And we can probably say the same exact thing about like offensive coach, defensive coach. It's probably
But
still
imagine if we had a better coach last year. We lost 8 one-score games.
like imagine if it was like at least Josh McDaniels, like a better offensive coordinator.
We
Because with our offense, usually that would
we
fail.
would have beaten the Colts. We would have beaten the Titans. I think we would have beaten the Rams. The Patriots they had them. They had the Rams in that game. They just kept shooting themselves in the foot. Kept shooting themselves in the foot. The Buffalo game, the first one, we went up 40. Like, that's why I was so upset when everybody, I don't care. AVP called a good game. How? He went up 14-0 and we lost 21-28.
Right.
Like, we went up those 14 points in the first quarter. So you telling me after Buffalo made those adjustments and everything else, we were only able to produce 7 points for the rest of the game, and they were able to produce 28.
Yeah, I'm very. It feels good that we won't have a coaching disadvantage, or at least like Ravens. Like it won't be such a significant disadvantage that like we're gonna see it on the field like the whole game.
Right.
Vrabel versus Harbaugh. It's mostly gonna be like I don't even know how like
defensive strategies.
Right, like it'll be more of.
But he does have
stuff. Like
we can assume he knows how to defend Derrick Henry. But Derrick Henry's not the worst thing that we got to worry about on that offense.
Yeah, and honestly,
he's definitely one of.
With these coaches, their advantage, I think, is just building these rosters. Like I think Vrabel, just like football mind wise, he's not that far off from Harbaugh. Right, this dude has been in the league since the 90s. Like Vrabel knows his shit. I think Vrabel.
Yeah, but Harbaugh's been coaching a long time.
Yeah, I don't see that big of a difference.
I think Harbaugh's been coaching since Vrabel retired, ain't it? Or since he was still a player.
Yeah, I just think
14 seasons. I think more than that.
I think their biggest advantage. These coaches' advantages is they're on the same team for a while, so they know their players better. So I guess that would be it. But just like toe football IQ, like Vrabel knows his shit.
Yeah, I feel like the Ravens overall, I feel like that'll be a low-scoring game too.
But it's gonna be like
have an offense that
to
can
3.
More.
You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I feel like they got an offense that can produce more than us.
Yeah, I just think their offense is mostly the run because the talent in the running game is just elite.
They averaged 30 last year. I think they averaged like 30 points.
I think didn't they lead the league? Or no, the Lions did. But I think that's where we kind of will be able to handle because I think run defense can be elite.
I can tell you right now what they did. 1 second. I'm working on like a magazine type thing with team profiles. I'm going. Yeah. I got the. I'm in the AFC South now, so I actually just finished it. Actually. All right, Baltimore. Let me see. I'm trying to find that chart. Whoa! All right, there we go.
Yeah, I had to finish top 3 at least because Lions were first.
Total offense. They were number 1 in the league, averaging 418.9 yards a game. They were first in the league yards per play. They were first rushing offense, first in rushing yards, first in rushing attempts, first in rushing yards per attempt, first in rushing touchdowns, first in scoring offense. Oh, they averaged 37? Jesus. Hell no.
No, that can't be right. Lions averaged 34, I think, and they led the league.
I think they did average. Yeah, they were first. Third down conversion first at 49.6%. They were first in red zone efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, so maybe they drop a 30 burger on us and we put on 6 points, get a couple field goals. Which I think that's fair. The Ravens are so well orchestrated. They're just a machine. If we have Patrick Mahomes, did they lose? That seems to be the only thing to stop them. Or if we face him in the playoffs, Lamar stinks. But so Lamar, if we placed them, if we played them in the playoffs, then we'd win. Because Lamar can't do shit in the playoffs. As their kryptonite is the second the regular season's over.
Yeah, because honestly, like looking at their stats, even on defense, it's fucking insane. Yeah. No, like they were. Yeah. So yeah, the Ravens are definitely going to be a handful to deal with.
Yeah, I don't see there being a scenario where we win, to be honest, unless we're because at this point we would be 12-3. If we were 12-3 facing the Ravens team, legitimately, then I think we have a shot. But even then, I still lean Ravens. Just their roster is just ridiculous. That game's honestly a watch. I'm not really worried about that game. I'm more worried about facing the Bills. I think that's more of a real test because, like you said, their roster is a little bit closer to ours than people really think. But we'll see. We'll see.
No, they didn't average 37. You're right. Detroit was 33.2. It's 30.5. Why this shit gave me 37?
It's not the most surprising. If you told me 37, I'd be like, yeah, But
and surprisingly, Buffalo averaged 30.9.
Yeah, and I mean that was just a Josh Allen masterpiece, right?
Yeah, they're. You don't know what? Run up the miles on the car. Go ahead. That's how you want to keep utilizing him. And I feel like that's why they're not winning. I feel like because that Superman manager, he goes into a lot of these games believing he has to do everything to win. And the other team is playing team ball. And that's why the Kansas City Chiefs, somehow, some way, you just always get outsmarted by them. How is that? That's what I'm saying. It's the coaching.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Yeah. No, definitely.
It has to.
All right. I want to watch The Forge in Foxborough. I want to watch it.
Oh yeah, do your thing then.
We gotta watch it.
All right, we definitely will. I'm gonna send you that video though.
Yeah, about shoot, who was the guy we were talking about?
Yeah, about Penix.
Penix, yeah, Michael Penix, right?
Yeah, it's a complete breakdown of his game, everything.
Okay,
I'm gonna send it over to you, but
Looking
I'm about to
forward
get on that too.
Okay, awesome.
All right, brother, have a good one.
We're on to Cincinnati. It's nothing about the past, nothing about the future. Right now, we're preparing for Cincinnati.
Okay, do you feel like the talent you have here is good?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati.
What is your responsibility?
Well, I mean, I'm just asking, do you think you've done enough to help Tom Brady?
We're getting ready for Cincinnati. Stupid thing.